Hey, English learners. Welcome back to Mr. English Fluent Tutor, and welcome back to another wonderful episode. I'm Anna.
And I am Abel.
Abel, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What do you think about when you hear the words learning to love yourself more?
Honestly, Anna, my first thought is that it sounds a little bit selfish. Like when someone says they love themselves, I imagine a person who ignores other people's feelings completely. Or maybe someone who is always boasting about how great they are and never listening to anyone else around them. That is the image that comes to my mind right away.
Oh, Abel, I completely understand why you would think that. And you're definitely not alone in that thinking. But loving yourself is actually something very different and very beautiful. It is about having compassion for yourself, setting healthy limits in your life, and treating yourself with the same kindness you would give to a dear and close friend.
Oh, wow. That actually changes everything for me right away. So it is not about being arrogant or pushing people away at all. It's more like being a good and caring friend to the person you spend the most time with every single day, which is yourself. That makes so much more sense when I hear it explained that way, Anna.
Exactly, Abel. And that is such a perfect way to put it. You are with yourself every single moment of every single day, every thoughts, every feeling, every quiet morning, and every difficult evening. So if the voice inside your head is always harsh and critical, that daily experience becomes very heavy and very exhausting over time.
Mm-hmm. That makes so much sense. I know exactly what you mean, because I've had mornings where I wake up, and before I even have a cup of tea, the little voice inside my head is already listing all of my faults and all of my worries. It's like starting a race with a heavy bag on your back before anyone else has even taken a single step.
Oh, I love that image, Abel, the heavy bag on your back. And this brings me to something I really want to share today, something I like to call the water bottle analogy. Imagine that each morning you wake up with a fresh, full bottle of water. That water represents your energy, your kindness, and your emotional strength for the whole day ahead.
Okay, Anna, I'm following you. So that bottle of water is basically everything I have to give each day. My patience, my love, my focus, all of it contained in one single bottle at the start of every morning. I really like that picture already. Please keep going because I want to understand where this is leading us.
So the problem is this, Abel. Many of us spend the entire day pouring that water out for other people. We pour it for our colleagues, our families, our friends, our responsibilities, and our obligations. And we do this with so much love and so much generosity, which is truly wonderful. But by the evening, the bottle is completely empty and dry.
Right, and then you have absolutely nothing left for yourself. You've been so busy giving and giving and giving to everyone around you that when you finally sit down at the end of the day, you feel dehydrated on the inside. Not thirsty in a physical way, but emotionally and mentally completely drained and hollow. I think so many people feel this way regularly.
Yes, Abel, so many people do. And the key message of this analogy is beautifully simple. Before you start pouring your water out for the world, take a moment to drink a little yourself first. Not because you're selfish, but because a person with an empty bottle truly has nothing real and sustainable left to give to others around them.
That is such a powerful reminder, Anna. It makes me think of those safety instructions on an airplane, where they always tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping anyone else sitting next to you. You simply cannot help someone else breathe if you yourself have already run out of air. Self-care is a form of preparation for loving others well.
Exactly, Abel. That airplane example is one of my absolute favorites, and it fits so perfectly here. Now, I want to move us into another beautiful idea that I think our English learners will really connect with today. I like to call this one the room with two windows. Can I paint that picture for you right now?
Oh, yes, please, Anna. I love these kinds of analogies because they make abstract feelings feel very real and very visual. When something is explained through a clear and simple picture like this, it just sticks in your mind so much more easily. So yes, please paint that window picture for me. I'm ready and listening carefully.
So imagine you're sitting inside a comfortable room, and that room has two windows. The first window faces a gray and cloudy sky. When you stare out that window, all you see are dark clouds, fog, and a landscape that looks dull and uninspiring. This window represents the habit of focusing only on your flaws, your past mistakes, and all the things you feel you're not doing well enough.
Mm-hmm. And I think most of us spend far too much time staring through that cloudy window without even realizing we're doing it. We replay old embarrassing moments. We compare ourselves to other people we see online, and we tell ourselves a very negative story about who we are and what we deserve. It becomes such a deeply automatic habit over time.
So right, Abel. And here's the beautiful shift. There's a second window in that same room, and this one faces a green, blooming garden full of color and life and warmth. When you choose to shift your gaze to that second window, you begin to notice your efforts, your growth, your small daily victories, and your genuine worth as a human being.
Oh, wow. I love that, Anna. And the wonderful thing is that both windows exist in the same room at the same time. The room has not changed at all. You have not had to move or do anything dramatic or difficult. You've simply made a conscious and deliberate choice to look in a different and more supportive direction. That's a beautiful thought.
Beautifully said, Abel, and that's the whole point. Loving yourself more doesn't mean you pretend that nothing is wrong or that you have no room to grow. It simply means you choose more often to look through the window that also shows you what's right, what's working, and what's genuinely worth appreciating about your life.
Right. And I think choosing to look through the green garden window is actually a skill that you can practice and improve over time. It doesn't happen perfectly from day one, and that's completely okay. You might catch yourself staring at the cloudy window and then gently remind yourself to turn your head and look at the garden instead. Small and consistent shifts add up.
Yes, and that gentle reminder you just mentioned leads us straight into our next idea, which I love so much because it is so practical and so achievable. I want to talk about stepping stones across a river. Abel, have you ever tried to cross a river or stream by stepping carefully from one stone to the next?
Oh, yes, I have actually done that as a child, and I remember it so vividly. You cannot leap from one side of the water all the way to the other side in a single enormous jump, at least not safely. You look for the next stable stone right in front of your foot and you step carefully onto it. Then you look for the stone after that one.
That is exactly right, Abel, and that is precisely how we should think about building self-love in our daily lives. So many people feel overwhelmed because they believe they need to completely transform their entire relationship with themselves overnight. They think it has to be this massive, sudden, dramatic change, and when it does not come that way, they give up.
That makes so much sense. And honestly, Anna, I have fallen into that exact trap myself. I have told myself things like I need to completely love and accept myself by the end of this week. And then when I still felt a little insecure or doubtful on day 3, I thought I'd already failed entirely. That all or nothing thinking could be really damaging.
So you are absolutely right to name that, Abel, because all or nothing thinking is one of the biggest obstacles to self-compassion. Instead of aiming for one giant impossible leap, think of collecting small, daily coins of self-care. Think of 10 minutes of doing something peaceful and joyful just for you as one coin dropped gently into your pocket each day.
Oh, I love that pocket coin image, Anna. So one coin could be taking a slow and mindful walk around your neighborhood without looking at your phone. Another coin could be sitting quietly with a warm drink and simply appreciating the fact that you made it through a difficult day. And another coin could be speaking one kind and honest sentence to yourself in the mirror each morning.
Yes, Abel, exactly those kinds of small and tender gestures. And the beautiful thing about pocket coins is that they accumulate. You don't notice the weight immediately, but over weeks and months, your pocket starts feeling heavier and warmer, and your sense of inner stability and self-worth grows quietly and naturally and sustainably from within.
That is such a hopeful and encouraging way to frame it, Anna. It removes that suffocating pressure of needing to arrive at some perfect destination of self-love immediately. Instead, you're simply walking across the river one stone at a time, collecting one coin after another, and trusting that the other side of the river is genuinely and patiently waiting for you.
Wonderfully put, Abel. Now, I want to bring in a word that I think is really important and deeply connected to everything we've been saying so far. And that word is compassion. Compassion is the feeling of genuine care and concern for suffering, especially the suffering of another person. It's that warm, gentle pull in your heart when someone around you is struggling.
Right, and I think most people are actually quite good at feeling compassion toward other people in their lives. If a close friend of mine calls me and tells me they made a big mistake at work today, I do not immediately start listing all of their faults and telling them how disappointed I am in them. I listen, I comfort, and I encourage them with real warmth.
Yes, Abel, that is such a natural and instinctive response towards someone we care about deeply. So the practice of self-compassion is simply this, turning that exact same response inward towards yourself. When you make a mistake or feel ashamed or fall short of your own expectations, you speak to yourself the way you would speak to that struggling friend you just described.
Oh, wow. And when you say it like that, it becomes very clear just how differently most people actually treat themselves compared to how they treat the people they love. The standard we hold for ourselves is often incredibly harsh and severe. We would never speak to a dear friend the way we sometimes speak to ourselves inside our own minds.
That is such a profound and important observation, Abel, and it connects beautifully to our next analogy, which I call the clean knife idea. Imagine a kitchen knife that is dull, dirty, and clogged with old residue. It can't cut cleanly, and it makes every task in the kitchen much harder and much messier than it needs to be.
Okay, I'm with you, Anna. A dull and dirty knife is actually more dangerous than a clean and sharp one as well, because you have to apply so much more force to make it work, and that creates accidents. So I imagine the dirty knife represents a mind that is cluttered with harsh inner criticisms, unrealistic expectations, and cruel things we repeatedly say to ourselves.
Exactly, Abel. You understood it immediately. All of that negative self-talk and those impossible standards act like old residue clogging the blade of your mind. They make everything harder and more painful than it truly needs to be. Cleaning the knife means gently cutting away those harsh internal stories and replacing them with simple, honest, and supportive reflections.
Right, and I think what I find really helpful about that image is that cleaning a knife is not a dramatic or complicated event. You don't need special equipment or enormous effort. You simply wash it, dry it, and it's ready to work beautifully again. So cleaning your inner voice is also a practice that can begin with something small and immediate and manageable.
So beautifully said, Abel. And this is a great moment to explore another wonderful word that connects to this idea of cleaning and renewing your inner perspective. That word is self-worth. Self-worth means the sense of your own value and importance as a person, completely independent of your achievements, your failures, your appearance, or anyone else's opinion of you.
Oh, that is such an important distinction, Anna, because so many people, including myself at times, have tied their sense of worth to external things like grades, compliments from other people, or success in their career. And the very dangerous things about that is when those external things change or disappear, your sense of worth crashes down along with them like a house with no foundation.
Yes, Abel, that is such a vivid and accurate description. A house with no foundation. And self-worth that comes from within is exactly like building your home on solid and stable ground. External things like praise and achievements and successes are wonderful and we can enjoy them fully, but they are like beautiful furniture inside the house, not the foundation beneath it.
That makes so much sense. So the foundation is this quiet and unshakable belief that you have value simply because you exist, and you are trying, and you are learning, and you are a human being who deserves care and dignity. And you carry that foundation with you, regardless of what any single day brings your way.
Exactly, Abel. That is it. And I love that you use the word trying, because trying is so enormously important. Abel, I want to ask you something a little personal now, if that is okay. Have you ever had that voice inside your head telling you that you are simply not good enough or not worthy of feeling proud of yourself?
Oh, Anna, honestly, yes, and more times than I would like to admit. I can remember moments where I worked really hard on something, and then when I looked at the result, that inner voice just came rushing in saying things like, "You are still not good enough as you should be," or "You will never reach the level you are aiming for." It can feel very discouraging.
Oh, Abel, thank you so much for sharing that honestly, because I think so many of our listeners feel exactly the same way, and they needed to hear that even someone warm and positive like you experiences those doubting voices. Now, I want to show you and everyone listening something absolutely magical that can transform a statement like that completely and immediately.
Oh, I am very curious now, Anna. What is this magical thing you are talking about? Because if there is something that can help with that heavy inner doubt and make it feel a little lighter and more hopeful, I am completely ready to hear it right now. Please share it with me and with all of our wonderful listeners today.
The magic is one single small word, Abel, and that word is yet. When your inner voice says, I am not good enough, you simply add yet to the end. I am not good enough yet. When it says, I am not where I want to be, you add yet. I am not where I want to be yet. That tiny word transforms a dead end into an open road.
Oh, wow, Anna. That is genuinely brilliant in its simplicity. I am not good enough yet. It completely changes the emotional temperature of the sentence. The first version feels like a final judgment, like a door slamming shut permanently. But the second version feels like an invitation, like a door that is still open and waiting for you to walk through it when you are ready.
Yes, Abel, a door that is still open. And that is such a beautiful image because self-love and self-growth are never finished stories. They are always continuing, always unfolding, always becoming. The word yet honors where you are right now while also honoring the direction you are genuinely and courageously moving toward in your life.
And I think for our English learners listening to this episode, the word yet is also incredibly useful for their language learning journey as well. Instead of saying, I cannot speak English fluently, you say, I cannot speak English fluently yet. Instead of, I do not understand fast native speakers, you say, I do not understand fast native speakers yet. It works in so many contexts.
Oh, Abel, that is such a wonderful and creative connection to make for our listeners. You are completely right. The word yet is a mindset upgrade that applies to language learning, to career growth, to personal relationships, and to self-love equally and powerfully. It's a tiny word with an enormous amount of transformative energy inside it.
Exactly, Anna. And speaking of the word transformative, I feel like that might be a great word to pause on and review together because it is such a rich and useful word in everyday English. Transformation means a complete and significant change in form, appearance, or character. And the transformation we are talking about today is not a physical one, but a deeply internal and emotional one.
Oh, Abel, I love that you brought that word in naturally because transformation is absolutely one of our key vocabulary words for today, and your definition is perfect. A beautiful daily life example of transformation would be this. After spending 6 months practicing self-compassion every single morning, Maria noticed a quiet but powerful transformation in the way she spoke to herself during difficult days.
That's a really clear and touching example sentence. And I think the important thing about that example is the word quiet. Transformation doesn't always arrive with loud fanfare or a dramatic and obvious moment. Sometimes it sneaks in gently, and you only notice it when you look back at where you started compared to where you are standing right now.
So beautifully said, Abel. And this connects to another important idea I want us to explore today, the idea of perspective. Perspective means the particular way in which you view or think about something, the mental lens or angle through which you interpret your experiences and your relationship with yourself and the world around you.
Right, and perspective is such a flexible and powerful thing, Anna. Two people can experience the exact same difficult situation and walk away with completely different emotional responses simply because they are looking at it through two very different lenses. One person sees a failure and feels crushed. Another person sees valuable feedback and feels curious and motivated.
Yes, Abel, and learning to love yourself more is really and deeply about choosing and practicing a more compassionate perspective toward your own life story. It doesn't mean denying challenges, it means choosing to frame them in a way that builds you up rather than breaks you down. It's a conscious and daily and gentle act of choosing your window, as we discussed earlier.
And I think that leads us beautifully into another idea I really wanted to discuss today, which is the concept of boundaries. I know that word boundary gets used a lot in conversations about well-being and self-care, but I sometimes wonder if people truly understand what it means in a practical and daily life context.
Oh, Abel, you are so right to bring that up because the word boundary is often misunderstood. A boundary is a personal limit that you set to protect your emotional, mental, or physical energy. It's not a wall that keeps people out permanently. It's more like a garden fence with a gate, one that you can open when it feels right and close when you need to rest and recover.
Oh, I love that garden fence image, Anna. So a boundary is not about being cold or harsh toward other people. It's about honoring your own needs with the same respect that you give to other people's needs. It's saying, I care about you, and I also care about myself. And both of those things can be true and important at exactly the same time.
Exactly, Abel. Both of those things can be beautifully and simultaneously true. And setting a boundary is actually an act of self-respect that comes from a place of self-worth. When you know your own value, you naturally begin to protect your time and your energy more thoughtfully. It's not selfishness, it's wise and loving stewardship of your inner resources.
That framing of it as stewardship is really helpful, Anna. It makes me think about how a good gardener tends to the health of their garden. They don't let every weed grow unchecked simply because pulling weeds takes effort. They protect the soil and the growing things because they understand that the garden's health depends on that consistent and loving care.
Oh, Abel, that gardener image is so fitting and so alive. And it connects to our word for today, embrace. To embrace something means to welcome it fully and openly, to accept it with warmth rather than resistance. And one of the most powerful things we can do on our journey of self-love is to embrace our imperfections rather than constantly fighting against them.
Right, and embracing your imperfections doesn't mean you stop growing or stop striving to be a better version of yourself tomorrow. It means you stop treating your current imperfect self as though they are an embarrassing problem that needs to be hidden or fixed before you are allowed to feel worthy of love and kindness and belonging in this world.
Yes, Abel, that is exactly it. You are allowed to feel worthy right now, in this moment, as you are, with everything that is beautiful and everything that is still growing inside you. And that brings me to a truly lovely idea I want to share now. I call it the no teacher behind the sofa reminder, and I think it will resonate deeply with so many of our listeners today.
Oh, that sounds intriguing, Anna. The no teacher behind the sofa. I'm already smiling at that image. Please explain it because I have a feeling it's going to be both funny and genuinely reassuring. I love when an idea manages to be both of those things at the same time, and I think this one is going to do exactly that.
So imagine you're an independent learner sitting comfortably in your living room, practicing your English or working on your personal development. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there is this imaginary, strict, and severe teacher hiding behind your sofa with a red pen, waiting to jump out and grade every single thing you do and penalize every mistake you make.
Oh, wow, Anna. I think I've been living with that imaginary teacher behind my sofa for years without even realizing it. That internal judge who is always watching and always ready to mark you down for any moment of doubt or insecurity or imperfection. That image is so relatable and so funny in a slightly uncomfortable but very honest way.
And the wonderful reminder is this, Abel. There is no teacher behind the sofa. There is no hidden judge waiting to penalize you for having a bad day or feeling insecure or struggling with your self-worth. Your journey toward loving yourself more is not a strict examination with a pass or fail grade at the end. It is a personal and ongoing and deeply human experience.
And giving yourself permission to have imperfect days without immediately judging yourself as a failure is such a profound act of grace. You can have a day where you stared through the cloudy window for too long and tomorrow you simply turn back toward the garden. There's not red mark in any book for a day where things felt hard and heavy.
Exactly, Abel. No red marks anywhere. And this idea of extending grace to yourself flows beautifully into our next analogy, which I call the slow friend on an afternoon walk. True self-appreciation and deep confidence do not arrive as a sudden and overwhelming shock. They do not crash into your life loudly one Tuesday morning and declare themselves permanently present.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean, Anna. I think many people expect the feeling of truly loving themselves to arrive suddenly and completely and intensely, like flipping a light switch in a dark room. And when it does not happen that dramatically or that quickly, they assume something is broken or wrong with them, and they give up the whole effort entirely.
Yes, Abel, exactly. The slow friend analogy offers such a tender and patient alternative to that expectation. Imagine you are walking down a peaceful afternoon path, and your friend is a little slower than you are today. They are walking behind you at their own quiet and comfortable pace. You cannot see them right next to you yet, but you know they are genuinely there and moving toward you.
And so you do not stop walking and sit down on the ground in frustration because your friend has not caught up yet. You keep moving forward at your own pace. You enjoy the scenery around you, you breathe in the fresh air, and you trust completely that your slow and steady friend will eventually walk right up beside you and join your journey as you continue forward.
Yes, Abel, perfectly understood. Deep confidence and genuine self-love are that slow and steady friend. You keep practicing your small daily coins of self-care. You keep choosing the green garden window. You keep adding the word yet to your inner doubts. And one beautiful day, you glance to your side and your slow friend is right there walking beside you quietly and warmly.
Oh, Anna, that is one of the most comforting and encouraging things I have heard in a long time. It takes all the pressure off needing to feel completely transformed by tomorrow morning. It just asks you to keep walking and keep practicing and keep trusting the process with patience and with gentleness toward yourself along the way. I really love that image deeply.
And Abel, I want to weave in another one of our important vocabulary words right here because it connects so naturally to what you just said. That word is validation. Validation means recognizing and affirming that a person's feelings, thoughts, or experiences are understandable and legitimate. And one of the most powerful forms of self-love is learning to give yourself your own validation.
Right, Anna. And I think so many people spend enormous energy searching for validation from other people around them, from social media likes, from compliments at work, from the approval of family members. And while all of those things feel wonderful when they come, the problem is that they are completely outside of your control, and they can be taken away at any moment.
Yes, Abel, exactly. External validation is like borrowing someone else's candle to light your room. It works beautifully while the borrowed candle is there, but the moment they take it back, your room goes dark again. Self-validation is lighting your own candle from within, one that burns steadily and warmly regardless of what anyone else around you is doing or saying or thinking.
And lighting your own candle is such a lovely and empowering image. A practical way to start doing this might be to take a few quiet minutes each evening to tell yourself honestly and sincerely, I worked hard today, and I am proud of my effort. Or, I handled that difficult moment better than I think I did. Or, I am allowed to feel this feeling, and it will pass.
Oh, Abel, those are genuinely wonderful and practical examples of self-validation in everyday language, and they do not require you to be perfect or to have had a flawless day. They simply require you to acknowledge your humanity and your effort and your presence with a little warmth and honest recognition. That is deeply enough, and that is beautifully sufficient.
Exactly, Anna. Beautifully sufficient. I really love that phrase. And I want to make sure we also revisit the idea of perspective one more time, because I think there's something really valuable to add about how your perspective on yourself affects every single relationship in your life, and not just the one you have with yourself alone.
Oh, yes, Abel, please share that thought because it's such an important dimension of this whole conversation. The way we see and treat ourselves really does ripple outward into every connection we have. Our relationships, our conversations, our daily interactions, they are all colored and shaped by the internal story we are carrying about our own worth and value as a person.
Right. So, for example, if I walk into a social situation believing deeply that I am boring or unworthy of genuine connection, I will unconsciously behave in ways that confirm that belief. I might not speak up. I might shrink away. I might interpret neutral comments as criticism. But if I walk in feeling fundamentally okay and worthy, I engage so much more openly and naturally and warmly.
Yes, Abel. And that's such a clear and real life illustration of how internal perspective shapes external experience. The inner story becomes the outer reality in so many quietly powerful ways. And this is why the work of self love is never a selfish act. It is an act that ultimately makes you more present, more generous, and more genuinely connected to the people around you.
Mm-hmm. And Anna, I think this might be a wonderful moment to bring in our final vocabulary word for today, which is one that captures this whole beautiful journey we have been on together in this episode. That word is transformation, and we touched on it briefly earlier, but I think it deserves one more meaningful moment here toward the close of our conversation today.
Oh, Abel, absolutely. And I love that you're bringing it back full circle because that's exactly what today's whole conversation has been about. A transformation is a deep and meaningful change, and the transformation of learning to love yourself more is one of the most significant and far-reaching personal changes a human being can undergo in their entire lifetime.
Right. And what I find so beautiful and hopeful about everything we've discussed today is that this transformation does not require extraordinary willpower or dramatic life events or perfect conditions. It begins with a single, small, and conscious act, choosing to look through the green garden window, adding the word yet, drinking from your own bottle of water first.
Yes, Abel, it always begins with one small and tender act. And I think now is the perfect moment for you to bring together all of the wonderful things we've explored today with a warm and thoughtful summary for our listeners. Walk us through what we've covered today so that everyone can carry these ideas with them as they move forward in their beautiful lives.
Of course, Anna. So today we explored the idea that loving yourself more is not selfishness, but a practice of genuine self-compassion and healthy boundaries. We learned about the water bottle analogy, remembering to drink from your own bottle first before you pour out all your energy for the world around you. We talked about the room with two windows and how choosing to look through the green garden window rather than the cloudy one helps us appreciate our effort and our worth. We discovered the stecking stones and pocket coins approach, taking small daily acts of self-care rather than expecting one massive overnight transformation. We explored the clean knife analogy, cutting away harsh inner criticism and keeping our self-reflections simple and honest and kind. We celebrated the magic word yet, turning inner doubt into an open road of growth and possibility. We reminded ourselves that there is no teacher behind the sofa, no hidden judge marking us down for our imperfect days, and we embraced the slow friend analogy, trusting that deep confidence is walking toward us steadily, even when we cannot yet feel it right beside us.
Abel, that was such a comprehensive and heartfelt summary, and I am so proud of the journey we took together in this episode today. And now I want to turn directly to you, our wonderful English learner who has been listening all the way through this conversation. I want you to do something very special in the comments section below this video today.
Oh, yes, Anna. I love a good comment challenge because it makes the learning feel real and personal and interactive. I am curious what you are going to ask them to do because I think our listeners are feeling inspired right now and ready to take a small and meaningful action step in their lives today.
So here is your challenge, beautiful listener. In the comments below this video right now, I want you to write one kind and honest sentence that you will say to yourself today as your first pocket coin of self-love. It can be something simple like, I am doing my best, and that is truly enough, or something personal and meaningful to your own life and journey. Share it with us and with this whole community.
And please do not overthink it or wait until you feel you have the perfect sentence ready. Just write the first warm and honest thing that comes to your heart, because the act of writing it down and sharing it is itself a beautiful and courageous act of self-validation and self-compassion. We genuinely cannot wait to read every single one of your comments below.
And before we close today, I want to take one final moment to remind you of something truly important. You are worthy of kindness, of patience, of encouragement, and of love. Not when you have achieved more, not when you have fixed everything, not when you have become a better version of yourself, but right now, exactly as you beautifully and courageously are.
Exactly as you are right now, in this moment. And if today's episode gave you even one small idea or one gentle shift in how you think about yourself, then it was 100% worth every single minute of your time. And we are so genuinely grateful that you chose to spend part of your day here with us, learning and growing together.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking with confidence and ease. This is Anna.
And this is Abel, and you have been listening to the Mr. English Fluent Tutor Podcast. Bye-bye. Take care.
And hey, if you enjoyed today's episode and you want to keep your English and your personal growth moving forward beautifully, click on the next video right now, and we will see you there.